All right, thank you for stopping in on World Chronicles. And man, this lady right here, Lilith, called the first woman and the night demon. Not two titles that you would think the same person would hold, but she does. And she comes to us from old Judaic belief systems and has heavy roots in Mesopotamian mythology. Her associations are with darkness, night, feminine, independence, seduction, childbirth, and death. She's commonly associated with owls, snakes, the wind, the moon, if you hear screeching, lust, and rebellion. These are all the things that we hear about her. And literally, she is one of the most enigmatic and controversial figures in mythology or biblical apocrypha. She is not explicitly mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, but her legend has roots all through Mesopotamian mythology, where she appears as a winged demon or a night spirit. In later Jewish folklore, she is described as Adam's first wife, created from the same earth as him, equal in status and independence and will. However, refusing to submit to Adam's authority, she fled Eden and was later demonized as a figure of seduction, child killing, and nighttime terror. Now, her story is literally one of defiance, rebellion, and transformation. She has been reinterpreted across time as a demon, a feminist icon, and even a goddess of sexual and spiritual liberation. Whether seen as a dark entity or a misunderstood force of autonomy, her presence has endured for thousands of years, manifesting in religious texts, folklore, and modern occult practices. And we'll talk about how her legend is enduring to this day. Now, we know some things about her, that she is attributed to have powers that embody untamed femininity and independence and sexuality. She's often associated with the power of women outside of a patriarchal structure, making her a feared and revered figure at the same time. She represents the divine female's ability to challenge authority and exist outside of social norms. She possesses shape-shifting and what is called a nocturnal presence. She's often depicted as having wings or talon-like feet, and she's believed to be able to take on the form of an owl, serpent, or a shadowy specter, and she moves freely through the night, traveling on winds as a storm demon. And seduction is something that's intricately tied to her, and this form of energy vampirism. As a seductress in early traditions, she is said to tempt men in their sleep, appearing in dreams, or as a succubus who drains vitality. And this attribute is tied to ancient fears of nocturnal emissions, sexual temptation, and this kind of reinforced her connection to uncontrollable desires. Now, she's also been associated with child stealing and infanticide, and in medieval Jewish tradition, she was blamed for the unexplained deaths of infants and young children. She was believed to prey on newborns and pregnant women, making amulets and protective prayers commonplace among those who feared her wrath. The idea that Lilith was a child killer ties into the older Sumerian figure Lilith, a wind spirit associated with disease and miscarriage of all things. Now, Lilith also has a connection with darkness, but she's also linked to lunar cycles, particularly the new moon. Her chaotic nature disrupts the order established by male-dominated religious structure. So this is her connection to several parts of our, of mythology. Now, her weakness is said to be holy names. Traditional texts claim that she fears the names of certain angels and also divine protections or invocations. Protective amulets I had mentioned before were used as charms and spells over newborns to ward off her influence specifically. And while she's not bound by the physical limitations of a vampire, her powers are weakened in the influence of the brightest sun, so at the brightest day. She prefers nighttime. Now, her cultural and historical influence cannot be overstated. She comes to us from Mesopotamian mythology, and the earliest references to Lilith-like figures appear in Sumerian and Babylonian texts. She appears in Talmudic and Rishitic writings, appearing in Jewish mysticism as Adam's first wife, and later a demon entity preying on infants. While Christianity largely omits her, she resurfaces in esoteric and occult movements as a symbol of forbidden knowledge and female empowerment. And of course, modern feminism and pop culture have embraced her more as a symbol of feminine resistance, appearing in literature, film, and music as an icon of self-determination. She has vast influence. Lilith is a figure of paradox, both feared and revered, demonized yet also worshipped. She embodies the fear of a male-dominant society while simultaneously serving as a beacon for rebellion and liberation. Whether seen as a demoness of the night or a goddess of independence, her myth remains one of the most enduring in human history. If you have more to add to this, as always, do so in the comment section. If you enjoy this video, please hit that like and subscribe.